everybody. This is Laura. I'm here today to interview Fabiana Silva. First of all, Fabiana, thank you. Thank you for agreeing in doing this interview with me. I know you are super busy. We talked about this just a few seconds ago. And I have here 3-4 questions for you. First of all, I want to introduce you, of course, to the people that will listen to this interview, this conversation. So, you are a point of reference for the study of the fascia in South America. You are a member of the board of the Fascia Research Society and part of numerous international study group regarding this topic that of course interests us LDOA people. We will talk about LDOA. And I discovered just a few minutes ago that you wrote a couple of chapters of the new edition of Fascia, a great book in my opinion, Fascia, the Tensional Network of the Human Body, right?
Yes.
This is great. I always tell the story, it's not the first time that I say this, I always tell the story of a client of mine. She's a surgeon, and she always told me that in the beginning of her career, they were used to throw away the fascia. So this is my first question for you. Can you tell me what happened in the last 15-20 years? I mean, when the fascia was recognized as an organ?
Yeah, a nice
question. It's a big question.
Yeah, but I'm really happy to be here with you and with this opportunity for share some experiences and our approaches about fascia.
Different approaches, different fields. I mean, I stay on one side, I mean, I teach movement, you study the fascia. So it's interesting when we can share different points of view about this topic.
Yeah, and for me, the difference started when the technology gives for us the opportunity to see what's going on fascia. What is fascia? It's made of what type of receptors, what type of fibers and the components of fascia. And so I think that this is the start for this change that we are seeing now. And the development of a new perspective about health, thinking not just in the musculoskeletal system, but the relation between this system with the other systems of our body. So for me, it's when we started this change. And in my career, I started learning about fascia when I found a book at the library about fascia. It was a book made for an osteopath, a French osteopath, and he explained in that book that fascia needs a gentle touch and needs to be stimulated. So I started to read the book and I'd like to learn about this. And when I did my graduation in physiotherapy, I started to work with manual therapy and movements, but much more with manual therapy. And as Professor Sheito says, if you touch someone else, if you use manual therapy and movement, you are working with fascia and the connective tissue, for sure. Yeah, no doubt. And for me, the change, it's about the technology and people like Professor Schleip that started study and see and put his practice, because he's a roofer and he works with the roofing concept. And when he was with the patients like me. I saw patients every day, and touch the patients or do movements or so on and so on. The things changed, but why? Why we have these responses? And so people started to study and try to find why it's so important, and why we have the clinical responses. And so I think that is this way that started this fascia time for us.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Mhm.
And at the end of the story, you said the osteopathic approach. That's the key, right?
Mhm.
Based on
Mhm.
your point of view regarding the fascia. I have the feeling that we are just at the beginning about the study of the fascia. Even if people like you said, Dr. Schleip, Tom Mayers, of course, the Stekos family, and Dr. Boyer, Guy Boyer, spent many years studying the fascia. But what are the most recent news? Because lately we will tell what we are going to do in September in Montreal, etc. But what are the most recent news, research, publication, etc. about the fascia? So give me the point.
Yeah, I agree with you. We are just starting
Mm.
because we have a lot of studies about the basic science, about the cells, about the behavior of the tissue, discovering what is fascia made of what, and but we need more clinical studies. We need more studies with human beings, studies with different stimulus like eudoa, like pilates, like manual therapy in different with different doses, frequency, and with vibration, no vibration. So I think we are in a good way, but we need to do more studies with humans in a clinical perspective.
Okay.
And yeah, and in my opinion, we need to do a more pragmatic studies. What is this? It's like if you and me, we are participating in a study, like subjects. Um, Maybe you, Laura, needs a type of stimulus in a different frequency than me. So how we can compare different persons using the same approach? If in the reality, when you are with your clients and when I'm with my clients, my patients, I do different things for different persons, right?
Yes.
And so I think we need to do more this type of study. And here in Brazil, we started to do this type of things. And I think it's the future. And the most, in my opinion, the most incredible discoveries or research about fashion. The first one was the studies from Hélène Langevin, the professor, amazing.
Yeah.
It's my idol. And she shows that persons with low back pain, chronic low back pain, compared with people without low back pain, they have a different organization of their aponeurosis lumbar. They are fascia thoracolumbar.
Yes, I read something. You are covering a lot this topic. I know that you are covering a lot the topic of the thoracolumbar fascia, right? I
Mm-hmm.
read many articles that you wrote about this. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, you are
Because I am
welcome.
enthusiastic.
Yeah, and she shows that comparing people with chronic low back pain, they have a 25% less glide between the fascial layers.
Yes.
And so this is important for me when I work with manual therapy, and for you in movement. You need to improve this, otherwise the body will always thinking or giving in mind that something is wrong. I don't know what, but something is wrong, and started to change the way of movement, the way of the people move, and starts to complain, like maybe pain. Yeah. And other different is the thickness, the stiffness of this fascia. In chronic low back pain is more stiffer than comparing with people that is with don't have back pain, chronic low back pain. And the other discovery is that fascia contracts, and was a study presented by Professor Robert Leip. I was in Canada watching him, and was the first presentation of a study that he did during 10 years working on this for to show that fascia contracts not in the same way that the muscle, the musculoskeletal muscle, but contracts like the involuntary muscles.
Oh.
And so, yeah, and so like doing this, and the fascia is responsible for our postural tonus, right? And this is not conscient. It's not, you don't know how was your fascia tonus right now, and me neither, but it's something that can be higher when people have some types of pathology, or when people are under chronic stress.
Stress, yes.
Yeah, and so you may think now about how 5, 10 or more clients from your clients that are really stressed and they don't sleep well and so on. And so we need to regulate this tonus to have a better slide and better fluidity, and the fluidic content of fascia for being okay can be, the fascia needs to be with regular flow, right? And other discovery, it was from a Italy researcher that
I know you are talking about.
It's Caterina Fera.
Yeah.
And Caterina, I admire her a lot, because she discovered and showed for us first the components of fascia, deep fascia, the fascia that is near to the muscle, and have a lot of the hyaluronic acid, the fibroblasts, the telocytes, that are a type of cells that give the communication between the cells and the extracellular matrix. What is going on fascia? Telocytes are there to notice this for us. And she discovered that we have a endocannabinoid receptors in fibroblasts in fascia. And so we have a endocannabinoid system that is responsible for anti-inflammatory, systemic anti-inflammatory process in our body. And we have this type of receptors on fascia. And so this is really important, because we have a lot of people with chronic inflammation, chronic pain, and systemic body issues, that we can work with fascia to improve the pro-inflammatory system in our body, that can work against the inflammatory. Okay. And the last one for me, that it's really important for us, if in manual therapy and movement too, Is a research published by Jan Wilk from Germany, and he shows that he put a image ultrasound at the ischiotibialis region, the posterior region of the thigh, and he moves the ankle passively. And so when he did the movement at the ankle, the transduct or the ultrasound shows the movement at the thigh. What is this? What is going on? And so is to show us the continuity of the fascial tissue. So you can work at the ankle to improve the movement at the thigh, the calf, the lumbar region, and every place at the body, the continuity. And this is really important because we change our mind to work with a person not by piece, but like integral in a holistic way. And for movement, this is really important and for manual therapy too.
And it's what's happening in Doha. We work from head to toe, and we search for that tension, for that fascial tension. Okay, super interesting. We often, Fabiana, we often read about training the fascia. What I know is that we have to stimulate the fascia, and with the techniques invented by Guy Voyer, we use the fascial tension in order to open up the space inside the target joint. This is LDOA. This is the definition is the main goal of the LDOA. But Guy Voyer invented other techniques. We can work the viscera too, and this is incredible. I'm referring to another techniques invented by him called GPS, global postural stretching. Or we can remodel the fascia, and I'm referring to our myofascial stretches. What do you think about this? That I'm calling movement therapy, because at the end of the story, it's movement therapy. It's something. It's a link between what you do and this new view of this. You said this holistic view, this osteopathic view.
Yeah. I agree with you. It's movement, and movement, it's supposed to be therapeutic, right?
Yes.
And thinking on fascia training or a specific exercise for fascia and etc. In thinking on research, we have almost nothing. We have a lot of practice. We have amazing methods that, for me, when you are explaining about LDOA, for me makes sense. But when we search for the research about this, we don't have. We need to work on this.
Yes.
Because people sometimes ask me, okay, you like to work with fascia, but there is difference if people do a fascia training or a specific stimulus, or do a regular training. There is difference, and I can say, I suppose that have, but I can't show any research for you, because we have just one study about it's with fascial fitness method.
Yes.
And it was just one study. And so how can we say or we can prove that is better? Because we need to know if it's different for regular training, how the dose is, and how we can apply, how many times per week. Yes. And etc. But for tendons, we have more studies about the plyometric exercise, that are exercise that use jumps, use recoil, and this type of stimulus, it's supposed to be good for the fibers component of fascia. When we think on crimp, because the fibers, the collagen, have a crimp forms like a wave, and this type of wave is good for us to spend less energy for movement. So when you do a jumps, high jumps or little jumps, and this recoil, you can work with these waves, these crimp forms. But the other types of exercise, in my perspective, they work a lot with the liquid fascia, the extracellular matrix that is made by a fluid that needs to be re-washed. And so probably Eldoa do this, Pilates, and the other types of exercise. And this type of stimulus is really important for our health and for the health of our cells, because the cells are in the matrix. And so if you have a matrix like too much viscosity, this will give a bad environment for your cells. And so with this type of mechanical stimulus by movement, and the manual therapy too, but more by movement, we can have this change, and we will have a good pH, we will have less viscosity, and the fibroblast can move through the extracellular matrix to fix the things that need to be fixed, and the cells from the immune system can go there. And so I think that the mechanical stimulus by movement is amazing, and it is important. We just need to see and show by research that is really, really important to work on fascia in a movement perspective.
I totally agree with you. We need to work on this.
Yeah,
definitely.
Maybe we can collaborate.
I'm ready when you want. Even now. So Fabiana, thank you for this conversation. I want to ask you two things. First of all, can you, because I'm curious, what is that logo on your, yes, exactly. Tell me about that, and then I have another question.
Yeah, this logo is from my company. I have a company, and I realize workshops about fascia, realize the international online congress about fascia. And so we do some things about fascia here in Brazil and in South America too.
Okay. And the other question is, tell to who will listen to this interview, to this interview, what will happen next month in September. I know you will be in Montreal. Can you tell us what will happen in Montreal?
Yes, we will have the International Fascia Research Congress. That is a congress from the Fascia Research Society. And we will have Professor Helene Langevin there, Carla Stecco, Caterina Feda, Robert Schleif, and a lot of speakers, amazing. And I will try to do some lives from there and show for those that can be there the news, what's going on, what we have, the new things, the new discoveries about fascia. So I will do an update for you, maybe every day. Great. And so it will be amazing. It will be, I'm really, really happy to be part of this, and maybe try one day to try to bring this congress to Brazil, maybe. and for Italy too. Why not?
We are here. Why not? Exactly.
Yeah.
Why not? I'm doing all my best to push. Of course, the LDO because it's what I teach. But I'm interested in the fascia, of course. So maybe in the future, why not? Why not? I'm sure that the Congress will be a success. I attended the virtual option like 1 or 2 years ago when we were in the middle of COVID. And you did it all online, right?
Yeah, but the online was the Congress that we made here from Brazil in my company. And the Fascia Research Society, we decided to do in person because
yes, finally.
Yeah, it's time and it's the characteristic of this Congress. And so I think that everything is gonna be
and people
okay.
need to interact at this point.
Yes, yes.
For sure. I'm sure it will be a success, and maybe we'll discover something new. For sure, we will discover something new at the Congress. So thank you again about this conversation. It was very interesting, and keep in touch, of course. And that's it. Thank you again, Fabiana. Ciao.
Thank you. Ciao.